Welcome everybody to the live stream. We are back live here again, diving into some more Satisfactory 1.1 in our Ultimate Screw Factory challenge that we're doing. And currently right now I am producing 624,000 screws per minute. And the goal is just to keep going up from there. It's either going to be, we're going to max out what the system is capable of doing, or we're going to totally crash the game, whichever comes first. Hopefully it doesn't come down to the crashed game, But we'll never know until we get all of the screw factory up and running. So let's head over to the game window to get things rolling here off the start. And as you can see, I do have 6 floors completed now of this first basically kind of half of the, I guess it's the first 6 of 9 floors that we've got to do for the first half of our one line of bauxite that we're working off of right now. That's got us up to the 624,000 mark. Just getting ready to get going with the 7th row. After we get this one in line, that's going to put us at 728,000 screws. We're getting 104,000 per level of this. So I'm just going to dive straight into it here and get some of these awesome sinks dropped in here. And yeah, work on getting this factory built. Keep chugging away at it. It has very much become a repetitive rinse and repeat process now, though. A lot of the hard work of thinking about the build is kind of gone out the window now. It's a matter of just rinse and repeat and do the same thing over again until we get started on the next line of bauxite, because then we got to factor in, okay, where are we getting our water bottle or the empty bottles from? Where are we getting our where are we getting which bauxite line are we going to pull from? Which how are we going to deal with the wastewater? Which petroleum coke line are we going to use? You know, all that type of stuff we got to start factoring in, and how to logistically get everything to the next row of the factory. But in the meantime here, we're just going to keep with a lot of logistics back and forth. I think I've got it down to a pretty good system now, though. It's pretty straightforward, you know, building the mechanics of this. I've kind of got it all. After you've done 6 floors, the rest of this all becomes kind of routine. And then you can identify when things don't look right and things aren't functioning the way they're supposed to. For instance, not having my zoop on. Generally, though, every floor has been kind of a rinse and repeat so far without too many hiccups as we've continued along with this build. So if you haven't already, reach down, hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you can be notified when I've uploaded a new video. And we're just going to get cracking here. Generally, I could get in a pretty good rhythm now with these. It's pretty straightforward. The game, every once in a while, though, I'm seeing the occasional little hiccup as things are flying along and running here. I guess I shouldn't expect anything more, but there's a lot of material that's flying around the map right now, so it doesn't surprise me that things are going to start having some little performance things that'll just show up. I don't think it's going to be it's not to a point yet that it's a concern that I'm worried about the save. It's just at one point what's going to happen is the save is just going to say that's it. I just hope before that happens that I've got a new either personal best or high for anybody else that's actually played this game. I'd like this to become a thing, you know, have these challenges where a bunch of people in the community start seeing if they can, you know, get that next higher level, whether it's build a bigger computer to be able to make it happen or use a different mix of recipes to be able to get all of the screws being made. All in all, like with the design that I did go with on this is I made it flexible enough that it there is room for improvement on the design, like efficiency wise. Now, whether or not that's necessarily going to be easier to build, that's a totally different story, because it's a lot more work with some of the other alternate recipes that will produce more of the various products and stuff. That includes alumina solution, that includes the beams, that includes screws, the whole works. There is better ways you can do it. Sporting some coffee tonight in my Fix-It mug. getting me through the night. Yeah, all in all, I'm really pleased with how well the factory is coming together. The only thing I kind of wish is I was a little bit more compact between the screw factory lines, but I'm keeping it more in line. It's the awesome sinks that are dictating how high we're building this. Because each row of this is a set of awesome sinks. You know, it takes quite a few. That's 96 awesome sinks to take care of these belts, and then the last little 4 kind of gets tagged onto the end of everything. So that's what's dictating the whole build height on everything. And I mean, these are fairly compact, these stacks of awesome sinks that we have here. I guess I could have done them all in like one long row out the back instead of going up in high builds like this, but I didn't want to be running into so much terrain and stuff. I think that would have been more of a hindrance with everything, is constantly running into terrain, where I think if we kind of keep it somewhat a smaller footprint ground wise and just use up the airspace is available to us, we might as well use it. I'll be curious to see if by the time, like this is 7, we're going to go 8 and 9 above this yet. If that's going to get us close. I've never ever built to maximum build height in this game. I'd be curious to see if we'd get kind of close to that, but I'm going to think we're not going to get really close to the maximum build height. I think it will still fit within all the parameters for that. If you're wondering why some of these belts aren't filled yet, it's because the steel is still working its way through our production line here and filling all of the, like we're just starting to fill this node now, working along, so the it's still trying to prime all of the constructors. It takes time. And there's our auto save, the first auto save of the night. Which is okay, because, yeah, we're just about 13 minutes into the stream. And I just started the game just before we started the stream, so... And I'm on a 15-minute interval for it. And it's still not that much of a delay. Like, it's only maybe a second and a half, 2 seconds of a hiccup that happens when autosave kicks in. Now, does that visually look like the same height as that one? I think so. The first ones are always the worst to kind of line up because it can be tricky to see whether or not you're parallel on the build height. I think this is straight across too on this one. And then we can drop down. And this one will drop down nicely right in front of it. I don't know why at the bottom it won't though. Like there's something on the spacing I did with the constructors on this row that when I drop this one down, this one still hangs back enough. I don't know. Something's a little bit off on the build. But, I mean, I've been able to work around it, so I'm not going to change things around now for it, so there's no point making any changes. It's working. I can live with that. So basically, the rhythm that I've kind of got into on building this so far is for every row of 24 conveyors that I get set up, I'll move on, build those into the awesome sink and get them running right away. It just helps break the monotony of all the logistics. I mean, it's logistics either way, whether you're doing output conveyors on this or input conveyors on that, but it swaps just back and forth so you're not stuck in the same area for a long period of time, because I think that's going to be my biggest challenge, is keeping myself focused on wanting to continue and get to the finish line on this. I think it's going to take a really long time. One of these days, I might play around with Satisfactory Calculator. Is it satisfactorycalculator.com? One of them, I think I can load the save game into, and I could like change things, but I don't know if I can add things. I don't know if I have the ability to edit and say, take this factory, copy it, and paste it right beside this one. I don't know if it'll let me do that. I mean, that would drastically improve build time. I just don't know. I don't know if is that too far to an extreme cheating? I'm already using unlimited summer sloop. I don't know if I should be trying like copy and pasting the factory. And I've used 0 add-ons. I don't have any add-ons in this game. There might be, I know that there's some add-ons for larger blueprints. But then, yeah, like, how big of a blueprint could I get to be able to speed up the whole process? Or do I just keep plugging along and grinding away at it, and you guys can join me on the journey as we grind through factory after factory, updating our billboard up there with our screw count each time we get a floor completed. I think ultimately that's all good. That's all good. Add 5 more here. 5 more here. Yeah, this will get us up to 20 conveyors. See, it's not taking long to work through these anymore. I've got enough of a process now. It's become muscle memory for building it. Oh, you know what I haven't been doing is clearing out all the excess scaffolding. Or conveyor poles, whatever you want to call them. I don't like conveyor poles. I've said that multiple times. I think that's just a stupid name for them. But I should be doing my housework here and getting those cleaned up so that it's not ugly looking. I mean, the build's already ugly looking because there's like no structure to it at all. It's being held up by a tiny little beam here, a beam here, and a beam here. That's it. That's all that's holding it up. Eventually there'll be more beams, but still, there's nothing to this structure. It's all just functionality over form. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that too. I personally, I haven't been able to wrap my head around the visionary. It's not like Minecraft where you've got smaller materials to work with and it's easier to manipulate the blocks and place them in ways to come up with some really aesthetic looking builds. Excuse me. Satisfactory, you could do it as well too, but it takes a lot more maneuvering of items and manipulating how blocks are placed. And I haven't been able to wrap my head around that yet. So, Chris, welcome to the stream.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Chipping away. We've only got, after this, there'll be 4 more conveyor belts we got to add to it, and then we can move on to adding those to the awesome sinks and just kind of switching it up back and forth. Chris, how are you doing this evening? Are you having a good day? It was like crazy warm today. I had to do some outside work today with some of our CCTV cameras. And yeah, I was outside without a coat on. It was so nice to not have to bundle up to go climb up and deal with mounted cameras on poles in a parking lot. However, with that said, there was another place I had to go work on some mounted screens inside one of our retails. And it was like crazy hot in there. Furnaces and stuff are still running at hot air rises. It's when you're up a ladder there working on screens, that gets crazy warm. Okay, so 4 of these are added to this. Just Peachy was rebuilding all my oscillators now that I have pure alternates. Never ends. Crystal oscillators, that was one that was a bit of a struggle because it ends up ramping up your entire factory so much when you add in the crystal oscillators. When I think it's when you're going from, what is it, stage 4 to stage 5 of the space elevator, where it all of a sudden really ramps up how many oscillators you need, and then all of the support infrastructure to be able to make those oscillators, you like almost basically doubling your factory to pull that off. It's a lot. I kind of like I do partially miss is starting that fresh new playthrough and you're getting things just started. But there's a section in there where it seems like, man, every time I do something, I got to tear down and completely rebuild again. It ends up being, it's like, oh man, do I want to go through that whole process and do a complete rebuild of my factory because I've totally run out of everything that I need? Yeah, the crystals are my bottleneck. I'm capped out at 60 per minute. Answer this, Chris. Have you stepped into the point now of using spreadsheets to design what your next build or next factory is going to be? I have started a spreadsheet for when I decide that I want to build like the absolute most ridiculous nuclear power plant. Why did I put so many of these there? That's not right. When I want to decide to do the ultimate nuclear power plant with full recycling for Satisfactory 1.0, so it goes all the way up to Fixonium, and maybe even using SAM ore to create more uranium as well too, like max out all the possible uranium we could get. And man, I break out the spreadsheets for that to figure it out. Just Satisfactory Calculator and ChatGPT. Yeah, see, I find with Satisfactory Calculator, it doesn't do it quite enough justice to factor in the exact style that I'm going to want to build everything. It seems to like overlook some alternate recipes and put priority into other recipes that you might do something differently. And I start off basically with when I break down my spreadsheet. So basically, I will take, okay, I'll calculate exactly how much uranium I'm going to be able to have, for instance. And then I'll do the figure out the math on how much that uranium I can turn it into. There's like 2 different steps. There's the uranium fuel rods, and then is the uranium fuel cells. So there's like multiple steps into that, and you see how much you can get out of each phase of that, and then how many support materials you need in with that, so that you know whether it's iron plate you need, or if it's how much concrete you need, how much, what the hell are they? Control rods. And then once you get it narrowed down, then you start the playthrough with in mind that you need to hit those targets. If I have limits, I wish it would work from my source and not the output desired. That's me, is I always work from the source versus the output desired. And kind of go from there. Like that's where I find the limitations are with Satisfactory Calculator. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a great tool. And I love the fact that you can load your save game in there and actually get a map overlay of your factory structure, and it can show you just what you've done to the world. I'll be curious to see, once I get this all built, what this is going to look like on their map. I'll load the save up into it and say, okay, show me what I've got. How many miles of conveyor system have I run through? I guess it's kilometers of conveyor system I've run through. And there'll be a fair pile. That I can guarantee. Okay, so that is the first 24 stack is done. So we're going to grab our blueprint designer. Go to logistics, stack 24. Connect that. And then we'll pull this all the way, but it doesn't quite reach all the way. I wish it did. I wish it went just a little bit further. There we go. I did add the mod to kind of like that, but in game. Oh, so you have a mod that shows you can work from sources? Or no, sorry, the map overlay. You've got a mod for the map overlay so you can see that in game. I understand now. My brain is kind of slow. Are slow. Did I put that in the right spot? Yes, I did. Thought maybe I went one too far over on it. I might, well, see, I've wanted to keep this somewhat pure in the fact that I'm playing in basically creative mode in the game style. But I've done 0 mod, and I don't know if I want to cross that barrier and add the mods in or not. I remember back in like update 8, I did have some mods and stuff added there where I basically like cranked up the inventory size so I could carry around, I think it was like 300 spaces of inventory. I just found I was constantly going back to my central hub to get parts and pieces all the time, so I'm like, oh man, I need a mod to be able to get myself a bigger inventory. And then I think that was the only mod I added. I don't think there was any I did. But then when 1.0 came out, I reset the instance, and so all the mods were removed, so it was a fresh install. And now I haven't gone through the effort to add any mods back in again. The inventory mod, though, that was slick. I just always found in the early game, or back during the updates, I was just constantly running back and forth getting stuff with the smaller bag. And you'd be like out in the middle of somewhere working on a factory build, and then all of a sudden you run out of concrete, and then you gotta go all the way back to get it. It totally sucked. You only got a couple that were map orientated, and the one that upgrades the loop speed. I should set up some hypertube cannons out here to be able to go from end to end of the map a little bit easier. I haven't actually gone through that process to do that yet. I've just been flying back and forth, but it does get slow going, especially if I need to like every time I start to gather a new resource, I always start at the far end of the map and pull everything into the middle and then work my way this way. And it gets traveling that distance to get things rolling again. It can be a bit of a pain in the butt. And I mean, it's not that it takes that long. I haven't actually built a lot of hypertube cannons in my time. I've done a few of them. But I would just much sooner be like building my factory than doing stuff like that. I mean, back in early playthroughs, I just set up hypertubes everywhere, and that's how I traveled around the map. Like back in, like, I think update 6 or 7. I can't believe I just said that. I would just use hypertubes to travel around. And at times that even got kind of slow. If you kept it all on the same plane, it was totally fine. But as soon as you went like up a hill, it slowed you down. So you'd have to throw some like boosters in there to cruise your speed along. And then I think it was in update 8 is when I started building my first hypertube cannons. I think I even have them in one of my video plays through back in the day. And I mean, yeah, it was great. It would launch you across the map. It did what it was supposed to do. When I first built it, it launched me clear out of the map, too. Had to tone it down just a little bit. I ended up, it was built like, I want to say it was like over in that area. It might be a little bit further this way. Had a tower set up here, and I was wanting to head over towards the Dune Desert, and it launched me, and I just kept freaking going. And yeah, I died. I didn't make it. I was so far out of the end of the zone that there was no way in me getting back at all. I got launched. Chris says, I have a bridge blueprint with belts, hypertubes, and power, multi-layered, so I can stack belts. I have a few cannons too. I should just build a blueprint for a cannon. That's actually probably the smartest thing, because then I could just build it whenever I needed it. Nope, I don't want that there. That's for if I'm working on the ones that are back on the bend there. And that's facing the wrong way. Good job. You got the idea from Kibitz? Yeah, he's got some really great like bridge structures and stuff that he's done. I even think he posts them on his Discord too, the blueprints for those. Why you'd reinvent the wheel if somebody's already got them built? I know if I got the mod for the larger blueprint designer, I probably could fit a lot of this structure in on that blueprint. But they never really intended the game to have that big of a blueprint designer, so I know the guy that currently has the record of 4 million screws, he used the mod for the larger blueprints. There was actually a bunch of different mods and stuff that he used when he built it. So, I mean, maybe that's part of why I don't want to use the mods, is I want to just, you know, add that next step up in difficulty. Oh, I forgot to finish adding all these. Oops. I'm like, I'm missing a bunch of awesome sinks. That's because I didn't build the second layer of these. My bad. I need to definitely make sure I line them up when I was playing this last night. One of them I didn't line up properly. It was off by just one little notch. And man, it threw things off. I couldn't figure out why things weren't lining up. And then I looked over the beam and realized that the beam didn't line up where it was supposed to. There we go. Oh, I didn't change this to, I want this changed over to, I don't need to have a smart splitter there. You need to find a good manufacturer blueprint. You know, there's such a hard piece of equipment to work with because, I mean, in most cases, when you're building a manufacturer, it's going to require all 4 belts. And just trying to manipulate those materials in a neat and organized and then have them sitting side by side, it can be a little bit problematic. I'm going to need more caffeine tonight for sure, I think. Some days I don't think there's enough caffeine on the planet. It didn't help that, man, today was just an insanely busy day. It was like a work period ends. I had like period reports that I had to get done and submitted. There were some period ending maintenance routines I had to get done and submitted. And then there was like 2 of our sites needed repairs done that I had to go do. So have I seen main sequence yet? I have not. What is main sequence? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Get rid of all these excess foundations out of here. Space Factory Builder. Well, that would be kind of fun. I have seen, what is it? Alchemy Factory. There's an alchemy one that Bits has been playing recently, and I think who else has been playing it? Total Eclipse has been playing it. And that looks like it's a lot of fun. I don't know about the catapult mechanic for like loading shelves using a little mini catapult. I think that's a really cheesy mechanic, to tell you the honest truth. I think that's probably the only thing that's holding me back from like giving that game a try and seeing what it's like, is I just don't know about having products flying through the air to land on a shelf. I just can't see how that's going to be like organized. So Space Factory Builder, you build ships, space stations, and it's mining and factories. As long as there's no like battle required in it. When a lot of these like creative style games, a lot of these type resource games that are out there, they lean too heavily on like a player versus environment aspect of it, where you end up having to kind of defend your base and stuff a little bit. I'm not at all, like, that's what I love about Satisfactory. You can turn all that crap off and not have to deal with any of the wildlife if you don't want to. It's just you and your factory and your reaping resources. That's all I really care about. I don't want to be forced into a battle situation if I don't have to. If I want to play a battle type game, I'll play a real-time strategy or something like that. There is, you have to defend your stuff. See, and that just kind of, you go through all the work to build a factory and then somebody comes along and destroys it. That, to me, writes off the fun right there. I don't want to have to be worrying about maintenance and fixing and defending. That takes too much away from it for me. It becomes too much like a real-time strategy versus it takes away from, I mean, if that's what the designers want, is they want it to be a real-time strategy game and they've just added the factory aspect of it to support it. Okay, then that's a decision that they've made as a developer, but if that's not the case, and it's a factory game, but then they added this other mechanic because they wanted to cow to people that think they want to have some type of tower defense type thing. There's been a lot of people in the comments during the development and early access of this going, hey, we need like, can we build like turrets and defense systems and turn the game into something like that? And I totally screwed up how those conveyors connect. And I'm glad Satisfactory said, no, that's not what this game is. It's not like that. If you want that, go find something else to play. I know that the space game genre has been really tough to like actually pull that off and make it so that it's kind of successful. Like it ends up being very niche, I find at times. Why do I feel like that is not straight? That is not straight. That's why I feel it's not straight, is because it's not straight. So that means on this one, I've got to go. I think that's too far away. Let's build it. I think that's still too far away. I think we could build it right here. Yep, that'll work. So I'm going to put the belt on it first just to make sure it goes across. And then we link that to a short conveyor stack. And then we have to build up from there to reach this one. I'm going to delete this out right now because I totally... Oh no, I did do this right. I didn't do this right. I thought I screwed up how I placed this. But I didn't. I'm just a scrub. Oh, but this... Stop! It needs to stop reverse clicking itself or hooking itself to the frickin' conveyor poles. If it's not facing it, don't link it. I don't think that's too much to ask. you could hear everything all kind of grinding away and working on these that are running. I think it's the the summer sloop that gives it that different audible sound to it. Whatever alien material that is, it does wonders to production for sure. Because the constructor normally doesn't sound like. It's definitely because of the summer sloop that's making that kind of weird whining sound to it. It's almost like a moaning sound more than a whine, but and I think I put that too high. There was a real-time strategy game that I really enjoyed back in the day. I'm trying to think what year that would have come out. It was when, I want to say when DirectX 11 first came out. It was one of the first DirectX 11 games. And it was Command and Conquer. No, not Command and Conquer. Oh, what the hell? Supreme Commander. That's what it was called. And it was so impressive for the graphics in the day because my RTS up to that point had been either Warcraft or StarCraft or Command and Conquer, Red Alert series. And then Supreme Commander came out and it was just so well done. Like, so impressed with the design of that game. And the visuals on it for a real-time strategy were really impressive. Like, you could zoom right into your troops and stuff, and they were so well detailed and everything. That was a super fun game to play. I don't see now this one. I've got to... Is that too close to it? I think that might be too close. We'll try that, but I think that's too close to it. Yeah, I gotta move that over once. You got sucked into Mech Commander? I remember playing, I think it was like Mech Warrior 4 back in the day. That was a lot of fun. It was a good LAN party game. You could do like, all your friends get together and you hook up all your computers to a network and did some PvP battling with that. That was tons of fun. That and Jedi Knight 2 was another one that was amazing as a LAN party game. You'd have so much fun with that game in a LAN party. If you're not familiar what a LAN party is, it's literally you get a bunch of people together, you set up your own network, you hook them all up, and you start playing against each other. Back in my younger days, there was a computer cafe that I think it was like it's either every Wednesday night or Thursday night or something like that. They did Medal of Honor LAN party games. And you would go, like, they had like 12 PCs set up in there. There were 6 upstairs, 6 downstairs, and you do like head-to-head battles against each other. So much fun. Mech Commander was an RTS, same online play, good old dial-up. You know, dial-up did the trick back in the day when my very first MMO that I ever played online was Ultima Online. And literally, like, I was playing on some of the free shards back in the day, and they'd have like unlimited skill caps and stuff like that. So I would dial up my computer at night and I'd be playing for a while, and then I'd set up a macro system that basically did your mouse clicks and different commands and stuff while you played the game. And I went to bed and I would let my character level up overnight, or, you know, skill at mining or skill at logging or something like that. And you get up in the morning and you've got all kinds of materials and you've gained some skill points. Anybody tried to phone my house after like 8 p.m. at night, you couldn't get through to my house. And I think I even had, like, that was back in my like AOL free internet days, where you kept getting the discs and you just add it to your dial-up account, so you had free dial-up for years because you get them on like PC Magazine or something like that. I may be dating myself just a little bit there, but it is what it is. I had unlimited dial-up. Yeah, it was AOL, but oh well, I got the job done. I swear everybody in their day, though, has had AOL at some point or another. I'd say, like, or maybe not like current generations and stuff, but certainly people like my age, they lived off those AOL discs, I guarantee you. When I was, young, first married, we didn't have extra money for internet or anything like that, so it was, you do what you did to get connected online. Do that with Satisfactory, just let it run overnight to gather resources. I've done that tons of times on my builds. I'm like, it's going to take 1,000 of what, blah, 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 to load up the space elevator. Well, there you go. Let her buck. Come back the next day and your space elevator is loaded and you can move it off to the next phase. You had AOL, there you go. It's like a generational rite of passage. And then DSL came to town. And I think I actually even switched to DSL while I was still playing Ultima Online for a bit. And then my next foray into MMO gaming at that point was Dark Age of Camelot. At that, I played on high-speed internet. And at that point, it was like 3 megabytes down, 512 kilobytes up, which compared to 56K modem, that was like screaming fast. Not so much nowadays. I bitch and complain here the other week when my upload got slashed to 50 megabytes per second upload, which I think is absolute BS that they do that. They cap your upload speeds. You skipped DSL and jumped to cable. So yeah, I didn't have cable in my community at the time. And so I was on DSL for a really long time before. And then of course, I mean, like anybody back in the day, your email account was tied to your ISP. And that really kind of dictated whether or not, okay, how much effort do I want to go through to reset my email account for absolutely everything? Because, I mean, most, like, Gmail was just getting started, so most people didn't have, like, I guess you could have Hotmail accounts back in the day, but they were always getting hacked into, and so nobody wanted a Hotmail account. So I think I probably stayed on DSL way longer than I ever would have because of the fact of, I've got to change all my sign-ins for everything to a different email address. And since then, I've realized that there are better ways of doing things. And now I get a full gig down. Actually, my ISP they do supply or support 2 gigabyte download. If I get 2 gig download, I've got to completely upgrade my network here in my house. And 2.5 gig networking equipment is still not, I wouldn't say it's like crazy expensive, but it's not cheap either. So, I still have a Hotmail account. I may have had one back in the day. I couldn't even remember what that account would be called. And I certainly have not logged into it in 20 years, if I have. Like, well, maybe not 20 years. Oh yeah, probably 20 years. Yeah, easy. I'm trying to think. I can't remember if I ever did have a Hotmail account. I'm sure I must have at something. And like I said, if I did, I have no idea what it was. Wife even has a Yahoo account still. Okay, well there's... I can't believe Yahoo passed up purchasing Google. Like, I think there was even 3 different attempts there, and they passed it up for acquiring Google. And now look at them. What are they now? They're like basically the nothing of the internet. Yahoo! I feel like this is taking a lot longer than it should. Another autosave. I feel like we've probably had a few of them, but I've been sidetracked enough, or when it happened, it wasn't while I was actively trying to place anything, so I didn't notice the little hiccup in the game as it happened. That is wrong. That conveyor is built wrong. I'm an idiot. Build it properly. Do my job right. All right, more screws, more conveyors, more logistics, more back and forth. I'm going to totally lose my mind by the time I actually get this project done. 100%. There's going to be nothing but mush upstairs. I mean, even more so than the mush that's already there. You're already lost, Chris? Yeah, join the club. Like, that's... I think there's a certain phase in your life as an adult where it's just like old man staring at cloud, yelling at cloud or whatever. I'm rapidly approaching that. I've caught myself back in my day to my kids at times. It's so bad. I swore I'd never be that way, and I've become exactly that. have learned too to I don't know if it's a hearing issue or what, but I can be like super hyper focused if the TV's on in the house and there's like a bunch of people doing things around me. I have the ability that I can be focused on that. I can completely tune out absolutely everything that's happening around me, and I'll be able to watch the TV show and hear the TV show and everything that's going on there. And then someone in the room will ask me something. I have not heard it at all. It didn't exist in my plane of existence. There's no way you spoke to me. It didn't happen. And I've noticed that, like, that's... I don't know if it's because I've tuned out the rest of the world, or if my hearing's not picking it up because I'm getting older, or if it's just some skill that I've developed so that I can be completely focused on something and see what's going on there, and the outside world doesn't distract me from that. I want to think that that's what I'm doing, because when they ask me the question again, I mean, I hear them. Like, there's no lost in translation or anything. When I focus on them, I know they're there. I'm like, that's a thing. But 100%, I do it more times than I care to admit. Where I can just get super hyper focused in something and completely tune out absolutely everyone around me. They just literally don't exist in my, whether it's my field of vision or my bubble of interaction. That's not down low enough. I gotta say it's a skill. I think that's a skill. That's like totally even in the wrong spot because that conveyor was already taken. So let's try this for a third time. Right now is one of those moments that I'm not super hyper focused. Or else I wouldn't be making all these mistakes. Even at work, like if I'm working on my desk and I'm pushing updates to some systems or something like that, I'll put one earbud in and I'll be listening to a podcast or something while I'm working away there. And someone can come up to my door in my office, totally oblivious to them being there. I'm focusing on what I'm working on. I'm listening to the podcast. The rest of the world is completely tuned out. I listen to like a lot of the tech stuff. Like I'll buy podcasts, like for instance, like the WAN show from LTT. I'll throw that because it's usually a good 3.5, 4 hours long. I'll throw that on and I'll listen to it while at work. And the YouTube video will be just running in the background while it's going. Of course, I don't pay for YouTube Premium. So you get the stupid ads every once in a while that like interrupt what you're listening to. The only reason why I don't pay for YouTube Premium, is, okay, I'm a content creator, right? So eventually when my channel remonetization can get turned back on again, ad revenue is a thing. Yes, there is revenue from people with YouTube Premium that are watching your stuff, but I don't think it's as high as the AdSense revenue would be. And so if I'm following a creator and I'm watching a creator, I let the ads play just as this is my way of supporting. I'm not going to use an ad blocker. I kind of will stay on the fence of ad blocking is technically piracy because that's how YouTube makes their services free for basically everybody is it's ad supported. That's how it pays for having all of this infrastructure and all that stuff in place. Somebody's got to pay for it somewhere. Free can't be free just to be free. It needs to be paid for or it can't be sustainable. So I will let ads play when they play and do their thing. and I understand the process and why it's there. And I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, other than I was, I'd listen to the WAN show while at work. Put it in my ear, listen to them talk tech news. Totally tuned out from my surroundings. Chris pays monthly. See, there's so many other subscriptions. Like I pay for a Netflix account. I pay for a Disney Plus account. I think my daughter is paying for our Crave account. We pay for a Paramount Plus account. Plus, I've got like regular cable as well too, because like I need to be able to get my Blue Jays baseball during the summer, and it's available on every game is televised, so I don't miss anything. So I don't have to subscribe to like Sportsnet or anything like that to be able to watch the Blue Jays play. It's just in my regular cable package. So yeah, and then of course you get your internet subscription. Everything's a freaking subscription. And you just got to draw the line at some point and say, okay, which ones am I going to keep? Which ones am I not going to keep? I don't know if I could ever get to the point of like canceling, say, Netflix or something. Is that in the right spot? I'm going to see if that's in the right spot. If not, I'll just delete it and redo it again. I think that is to make that 90-degree turn there. Yes, it is. And then I need to line it up to this foundation. I think my daughter has a YouTube Premium account on her, because she doesn't want to listen to the ads. And I get it. You know what? Like I'll put on some of my tech shows and stuff. I'll load the YouTube video up on my phone, and then I'll cast it over to my TV, and then my TV, it'll start playing the video up on my TV. I get way more ads on the YouTube app on my TV than I've ever had watching it either on a computer or on my phone. The TV I bet you there's been times where I'd be watching something that like every 5 to 7 minutes I'm getting a freaking ad on it. So it's just ridiculous. So I've killed a lot of my subscriptions. This I keep so I can sleep and not have my tablet screen on, and the sleep vids having ads makes it hard to sleep. That absolutely makes 100% sense. And I mean, if it's one of the only things you can, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of YouTube that I watch. So, I mean, I should get premium. It would make sense. It's not like it would be a wasted service to me to not have premium. Like I watch everything that LTT puts out, everything that TechLink puts out, GameLink puts out, Short Circuit puts out. Jay's 2 Cents is another tech guy I follow. I used to watch Gamers Nexus, but then he went kind of all higher than thou. So I unsubscribed from Gamers Nexus. Mr. Who's the Boss, follow all his stuff. MKBHD, watch all his stuff. And I mean, those videos weekly, I watch them all the time. Mark Robler, watch him all the time. He puts out some amazing content. I wish he put out more content more frequently. I think he's averaging about, one video a month type thing. But the quality of his videos are like top shelf. So, I mean, you do you, right? Okay. Now we've got to pull this conveyor line. Oh, I didn't finish connecting all these. Let's finish that. I went totally squirrel on that. I don't even know what distracted me on that to stop this from building. It's so easy for me to go onto a squirrel tangent. Which other YouTube channels do I watch on a regular basis? Bits, I watch his videos. I'm Kibitz, well, I watch his. Total Eclipse. Sometimes. I find Total Eclipse's videos tend to be a little bit on the long side, though, at times. I give them credit, though. Like, I think... Like, I've always done my videos, like, I'll go and record a clip, but it's always while I'm actively playing. I want to say that they're probably grabbing clips of stuff that they've done and then voiced over top of it. Where I've always just, as I'm playing, I'll talk, and if I've got to redo something, well, so be it, I got to redo that chunk. But I'm usually doing a large enough project that I can say that bit further on down the line type thing. I've never tried doing the whole voiceover thing. I think it would I think I would end up sounding too scripted for the way I would. I don't know if I could make it sound natural enough. I mean, not that what I'm doing right now sounds natural at times. Stumble over words like a fool. Well, and it's usually like when you're trying to focus on one thing, talking about something else, that's where like word stumbling ends up coming into play. Generally, when you're playing a video or something, you're talking about what you're doing, so it's a little easier. But then it still would end up, you know, be building a copper factory and accidentally swap in the word coal at times because you happen to look at a coal vein while you were looking at, like, that was like, why did I do that? That was ridiculous. You were thinking about posting gameplay as an average gamer, lol, just for fun. That's basically what I'm doing. Do it. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You won't get like 1 billion views? Like, I do this for fun. On maybe one day, somebody else will enjoy it and watch along. That's why I've changed genres of games so often. I mean, this one's had me, I would say I'm as focused on Satisfactory as I was on World of Warcraft when World of Warcraft first came out. And I mean, I played a lot. Like my wife, she called herself a World of Warcraft widow when that first came out. And I mean, I had young kids at the time. Like the kids were bathed and into bed and I was straight into playing World of Warcraft. I felt bad for my wife. I kind of ignored her for a long time. We'd end up having to set up like date days so that it wasn't just me wanting to play World of Warcraft all the time. My wife's not a gamer, so it's I would like it if she was, but I don't know if I could ever get her into something like this or even Minecraft. Like her gaming is like Coin Master on her iPhone. That's about the extent of her gaming. Like we do board games and card games and stuff with friends. Usually every weekend we get together with some friends and play various card games, board games, so on and so forth. I've got a pretty decent like tabletop collection, so. I'd like to just, I've got a family room downstairs that's just collecting junk right now. I would love to turn that room into like a place for tabletop gaming where we could play our cards, just have the, it seems like every time I try to do like any type of gaming, like one of the ones we play on a regular basis now, it's a card game, it's called Nerds, and it's kind of a cross between it's like battle solitaire type thing. You have a pile of cards that you need to get through. The first person to get through their pile of cards ends up calling Nerds. And the object is you have like 4 rows where you play like normal solitaire on, and you're trying to move cards out of your pile on that. And then you can put all of your other cards up in order from ace to king. We play that quite a bit, and it's a very fast-paced game. Like, you need to be on your shit when you're playing that game, because it flies so fast, and you miss the opportunity to play cards if you're not paying attention. And yeah, but it's a lot of fun. But we never seem to have the right shape size table to be able to comfortably do it with like 6 people. It ends up being just an absolute cluster trying to be able to play. So one of these days, I'm going to turn that family room downstairs into the ultimate like game den. It's got a bar fridge in it, so it's not like I wouldn't have like drinks and stuff down there. It's just a junk collector spot right now. Piles of stuff from when my son and his fiance were living here, my son's beer making kits and everything are sitting in that family room. And then my daughter's got a bunch of stuff sitting in that family room. I think I might make that a project this winter. Just start tossing stuff out of there. Get a nice, I don't even know if I'd like a card table, but I don't think a poker table would be the best option. But mind you, a poker table would have the nice like cup holders and stuff in it. But I think I would almost like try to find an oval shaped wooden table, and then I would mount like cup holders lower in it so that the cups weren't in the way while we were trying to play. I think that might be an option. It's all pipe dream stuff. I don't know if I'll ever get around to doing it, but... And then I have to keep my damn cats off of it. I have 2 cats. They're both the same age. One is called Gandalf the Grey, and the other is Captain Samantha Carter. Was supposed to be Samwise Gamgee, but it turned out she was actually a he, so we had to change that. Captain Samantha Carter instead. And Gandalf the Grey, I mean, they're both Maine Coons, but he's a big Maine Coon, and he's got like the full mane and everything. He looks like Gandalf, so it's very fitting for him for sure. Sam's a little more daintier. She must have been the run to the litter or something, because she's definitely a lot smaller than what Gandalf is. She's got a bit of the mane, though. Bonus points if you can guess what Captain Samantha Carter's from. You would probably know where that's from. You're the right age. You'd know the show. It's probably my favorite all-time sci-fi show. And I used to be like a die-hard Trekker. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Star Wars fan too. But I'm kind of oversaturated in Star Wars content ever since Disney took it over. They did too much. And it lost the appeal. That's kind of the same thing with the Marvel movies and the Marvel shows. There's just been too much, so I'm like superhero exhausted now. I can't bring myself. I don't think I've been to a theater release of a superhero movie. Deadpool 2 I think was the last one I went to. No, Deadpool Wolverine was the last one I went to. And that was because it's Deadpool. It's not like it's the rated R different. It's a different beast. There you go, Stargate. You're exactly right. Stargate it is for Samantha Carter. Colonel Jack O'Neill, played by Richard Dean Anderson. Richard Dean Anderson is Canadian, in case you didn't know. I totally lost my train of thought. What was I even talking about? Oh, the superhero fatigue. And like the last movie I watched was Deadpool Wolverine. And there's so many of the shows and stuff that I don't even have the desire to watch. It's just too much. They did too much of it all at once. Right after Endgame. Endgame kind of like ended it for me, other than like if there was a Deadpool movie tomorrow, I would go. Heard they're doing a new show. Yes, there is supposed to be a new Stargate series coming out that I believe is a complete reboot, but I don't know the full story behind that. But I know that a lot of the original cast and creators and everything they are playing maybe not a role in the movie, but they're involved in the production. So there's going to be, some canon stuff that will end up staying, I'm sure, with it. And even the original movie, I really enjoyed. Other than I thought that Kurt Russell was the wrong casting for Jack O'Neill in the original movie. I didn't like that casting. And I didn't like the character arc that they put with him. It didn't fit. It felt, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. But James Spader as Daniel Jackson played an amazing role, and then they recast that to Michael Shanks. Was it Michael Shanks? Yes. When they recast Michael, like they did such a good job of matching those two characters to keep them under like the same actual character. Their casting on that was like on point. They did such a good job. Side note, did you know that Michael Shanks, who is Daniel Jackson, was also the voice of Thor in that show? The little green alien dude. And so even when Daniel went on his hiatus when he was ascended for a while, and I'm not going to say spoiler alert because these are like a dozen years old now, if not more. He was still voicing Thor through that whole thing, so he was still heavily involved in the production. And Richard Dean Anderson was an executive producer as well. I think the third season is when he became an executive producer. MacGyver. By that to me, like that was like perfect sci-fi. The Stargate franchise was perfect sci-fi because it almost, you knew it was science fiction, but you could almost think that it was believable in a slight way. So more lol predates my kids, and they are all adults now. When does it? I'm gonna have to look and see. Because Stargate SG-1 ran for 11 seasons. Stargate SG-1. Oh no, it was 10 seasons and then a bunch of movies. Stargate Universe is on Prime Video now? I might have to go back. Stargate Universe got the raw deal, man. That show was really just starting to get good when they freaking nerfed it. when they got rid of it and canceled it. I was so disappointed. Oh, the first episode appeared in July 27th, 1997. Wow. I didn't think it went that far back. God, I'm old. 214 episodes plus 2 DVD film movies. Stargate Atlantis, really enjoyed that as well too. Rodney McKay was my absolute favorite on there. He was such a condescending dick, but he played that role so it was so good. It was such a good show. I did get to meet Jason Momoa. He was here for a comic expo in Calgary a few years back. Got his autograph. And the actor that played Teal'c also voiced, Kronos or something like that in the God of War video game series? Is it Kronos? What's the name of that character? Let me look now. I gotta look that up. I might have said that wrong. God of War. God of War, an action-adventure franchise. Developers, publishers, artists, writers, platform. Kratos, that's right. Yeah, that's the same. Teal'c is the guy that voiced both those. Yeah, I really hope they do. Either way, I'm so starved for a decent. I don't know. Am I dying on a bridge here if I say this? There hasn't been a decent sci-fi series in so long. Picard was all right. I haven't watched any of Starfleet Academy, but to me it looks like it's a teen drama more than it is an actual Star Trek show. I wasn't a Deep Space Nine fan at all, but these are all predating Stargate anyway, those ones. Voyager was okay, but again, dates back furthest. My latest favorite was The Expanse. See, I think I only watched the first, not even the full first season. And I think I had a hard time getting into it. I might have to give it another college try and see if I can, give it its due diligence. I did watch the first season of Mandalorian, but again, the Star Wars stuff, yes, the first season of Mandalorian was great, but I haven't gone back to watch any of the rest of them. And I think a lot of it was because they take so much time between releasing their 8 or 10 episodes. I miss the days of, Stargate was 24 or 26 episodes a season? Hello, give me a show that I can watch for a period of time and not get it broken into, season 1, part 1 was 6 episodes. And then we're going to take a 9-month break between that. And then we'll release the next 6 episodes of season 1, part 2. That just absolutely drives me bonkers that's kind of the way. That's just the norm now. Disney has struggled with Star Wars, and I think that's why it's been beat to death now. They need to put it to bed and not touch it for 20 years and then come back and do something, do another like movie series or something. But then, even then, like, I mean, look at how bad Phantom Menace was. Like, yeah, Revenge of the Sith was okay. That would be the third one, right? It was probably the best of all three of the prequels. Nothing's ever gonna beat like Empire, right? Like, A New Hope was okay, but Luke was kind of whiny, kind of a little bitch, right? Empire was like, that was that was Star Wars. And yeah, I think Empire is probably my favorite out of all of them. And the new ones, I don't say the new ones were bad movies. I don't know. I don't know where I stand with the newest trilogy with, like, other than, like, Kylo Ren's character there, whatever. Like, that character was just, that whole thing was poorly written. It's just an angry little boy is what he was. Like, it was, they could have done some better. He was trying to, you know, emulate Darth Vader, but didn't have the swagger of Darth Vader. Like, man, you can see I got off into tangents there, and my productivity just went down into the toilet totally. I'd like to go back and like rewatch. I've been kind of chipping away at SG1 at times. My daughter did buy it, I think, on I think she got it on Apple TV. Empire and Return were good. I think Driver was a bad choice. Not gruff enough. Way too many coincidences. Yeah. Not gruff enough. But I mean, yeah, I don't know really what it's lacking. There's a lot that the whole thing is lacking. Even just how they portrayed Luke at the end was not as exciting as I think it could have been. I understand they didn't want to make the show about Luke, but it was supposed to be about Rey, but I don't know. You know what? I was thinking, like you mentioned that Babylon 5, you love Babylon 5. I don't think I ever watched any Babylon 5. Well, you know what was good? And I guess that would be around the same time. Maybe it was a little extended past Stargate. Was Battlestar. Battlestar Galactica was very well done. Maybe dragged on a little bit too long. Her backstory was horrible. Yeah, like, honestly don't even know if they ever even clarified it. I can't even remember now. It's been so long since I've watched them. Just sold into slavery, basically. There's your backstory. Which is a cop-out in writing is what that is. They didn't want to develop a backstory, so that's why they did it that way. It's like, we'll just use this as a plot hole, and then we don't need to really expand on it at all. It is what it is. I feel like that's too low. But I did really enjoy Battlestar, and I think it just got recently added to Netflix. I might have to rewatch that series. Yeah, it was good too. The Cylons were meh, though. The original, they were way more menacing. But, I mean, the technology had advanced, and to have the Skinwalker Cylons, you never knew who could potentially be a Cylon. I thought that was a pretty good little run there. Ooh. Got my Fix-It mug. Some Java in my Fix-It mug. I feel like that is not far enough away. I gotta put it out here. So that means I don't need this piece, and this can run straight across. And then we can bring this one down. You'll let me focus? No, it's fine to be totally distracted. It's good conversation. It helps the stream go by a little easier when I'm not just talking to myself to a screen. There has been times when I know there's people watching, but they just choose to be lurk at the time. And it can be a challenge to keep yourself on and chatting and talking to the screen. There was some advice that I had taken from, I can't remember what series it was, but they were talking about, you know, streaming and being noticed and overall engagement and stuff like that. And basically from the time that a new viewer hops onto the stream and starts watching, you have 8 seconds to grab their attention. If you haven't got their attention in that 8 seconds, they're gone. That fast. So you're constantly having to be like on and at it. And I don't know if you've ever tried just... Like if you ever decided that live streaming was the way you were going to go, and that's what you decided, like you had mentioned earlier that you wanted to maybe do some gameplay videos or something like that. Trust me, video making is a lot easier to do because you're not on all the time. But just try to sit there and have a conversation. If you ever wanted to give live stream a shot, picture yourself in a room staring at your screen and have a conversation. Try to be engaged on for 3 hours straight. It gains you so much more respect for... There's been so many people, especially when like early live streamers were starting to make some bank and stuff. Dollar Boy Sushi, welcome to the stream.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
There were some like early day streamers and stuff that, you know, were starting to make some bank. They were starting to bring in some dollars. And there'd be so many people going on like, oh, get yourself a real job. That's not real work. You're not doing anything. You're just playing video games all day. Totally underrated, 100%. Just me and my hobby of sitting here spending 3 hours a night streaming, playing a video game, but being on and talking and focusing. Wow, that is probably the most work. Like, I don't even have to be this on at work. when I'm working away, and my interactions aren't generally going to be for 3 hours straight. So it's you know, it seems like it's easier to get through your regular business day than to be on. And it can be exhausting like crazy exhausting. So, I mean, yeah. If you ever get the urge, just try it. Sit in a room, load up a game, and then just start talking through the whole process. And that will give you a taste on whether or not you want to try doing it with the camera on and being streamed. It is a lot harder than anyone will ever tell you it is. And I find myself at times where I'm like, I literally have got jack shit to say to anybody. So I start talking about, well, I'll take this belt and I'll pull it over here and I'll grab another belt and we'll do this conveyor here. And nobody really, they want to be engaged. They want to have a conversation. And I've done it in this stream where I start talking about what I'm placing where, because I'll realize, okay, there's been a lull. I've got to say something. And if I don't, then I'm going to have a huge period where if somebody does show up and they want to watch, they're like, oh, it's just some old dude playing video game, big deal. And then they frick off. And that's the end of it. So then you start getting into that rut where you're like, oh, I'm going to take this and I'm going to connect it here and I'm going to connect this and we'll do this. And that's usually how my stream ends up starting until dialogue opens up and people start chatting. And then it's easier. It makes the conversation flow so much easier. It feels so much more engaging. And I think to the viewer too, it ends up being more engaging. You stick around longer. Earn them terrorist tokens so you can spend them in my stream and make all kinds of like weird noises and stuff to keep me awake. The air horn's always really popular to suddenly wake me up. Oh, another save game. And yeah, like it's a second and a half. That's nothing for a save game. I don't think we're taxing things near as much as I think we are in this. Yet there's a lot of equipment running. There's a lot of stuff going. I think now's probably as good a time as any to do the little sponsor spot here.
And now a word from our sponsor.
If you've had the opportunity or not yet, reach over and click on the link in the description of this video or the one on the About page on my channel. You can see that I have an Amazon affiliate link, and in there I've got the a list of all of the PC specs of the gaming computer that I'm actively playing on, and that I'm bringing you this stream with, and I do all my videos and stuff on, with the exception of 2 changes to that system. One, I have a 4070 Ti or 4070 Super in my system. That card is not available to purchase anymore, so I swapped it out with a 5070 regular card in there because they're both the 12 gig GDR6X cards, so they're somewhat comparable in performance. And then my gaming rig has 64 gigs of CL30, 6000 megahertz DDR5 RAM. I wouldn't wish anybody and their dog to buy that RAM today. When I bought mine, it was $200 Canadian for the 2 sticks of 32 gig to give me 64 gigs. That same combo of RAM is nearly $1,600 right now. Thank you, AI, and the crap videos we see on Instagram, TikTok, of this AI generated slop. That's the reason why we're paying ridiculous videos, or we're paying ridiculous prices for RAM, is because of them. Other things that I've got on my Amazon shopping list is there's like everyday items that I use, and then a book series that I'm currently listening to. I've actually just finished that book series. I'm waiting for the 8th book in that series to come out, and that's the Kingstar Tiding book series by Calcade, narrated by Nick Bodell. If you are into audiobooks at all, Nick Bodell's a fantastic narrator. I really enjoy how he delivers books. Like, it's just very well done. Yeah, that's the end of my promo spot. Amazon affiliate link in the description. Check it out now. And now back to your regular programming. We are almost done the next batch of 24 conveyors here, so I guess I'm plugging along kind of okay. What time is it? It is 10:30. Yeah, I think we're making all right time. We are blueprint. We can grab our 22 conveyor stack. This one's a little trickier to get to line up here. Do I come to there? Do I come to there? Do I come to there? I feel like that's not the right spot. Worst case scenario is, yeah, it is. It's one too far back. I'll just have to build the corner there. I tried to get it lined up enough so I don't have to have that extra little conveyor corner in there. It's tough to line those up to get that to click in right. It is what it is. All in all, I think this floor has gone fairly quickly. I don't think my distractions probably haven't been as bad as I thought they were. I am still getting things done. Okay, so we have two more conveyors. Oh, I did not put that in the right spot. Two more conveyors we have to add to this stack, though. See, it's weird how that just every once in a while the graphic makes it look like they're flowing backwards. If I just stop and not move, everything looks like it's flowing. If I go and look this way and then look back again, now they kind of look like they were going backwards there for a bit. It's so weird how it does that. Like, why are you putting the screws back into the constructors? I'm so glad the belts don't actually do that. Could you imagine the mess that would be? All right, we're 3 high on this conveyor lines. Come on, select the right block. I'm so glad that middle click is an option to be able to grab items around you instead of having to go into the menu all the time to grab the items you want or using the hotbar. I've never been great at hotbar interactions. Even in my World of Warcraft days, and I got so much flack for this when I was streaming. I was a clicker. I clicked everything. And I was really freaking good at it. In my Cataclysm days, when I was doing raiding back then, I was always 1 or 2 on the damage meter. I was never below 2, and I clicked everything. I never used hotkeys for my stuff. But then I started getting flack for not using hotkeys. So then I started trying to use hotkeys, and my DPS and everything went to the toilet. I should just ignore what people are saying. Oh, you're just a clicker. You don't know how to game, blah, blah, blah. If it works, don't break it. Like, don't fix it. Like, that's... I need to not take that stuff to heart so much. Which is probably why when like I tried playing Fortnite for a little while there. I mean, the game, like the building aspect of that game drives me crazy. I don't like the building mechanic at all. As a battle royale type game, if you're just like shooting and everything like that, yeah, I could get to 1 and 2, you know, or, you know, top 5 alive still on a regular basis. As soon as you start pulling all that building stuff in and people are cranking these, what they call cranking 90s or whatever. Yeah, I understand it's Fortnite and you're building forts to survive. Yeah, okay, whatever. I get it. It's just not me at all. And I know there's other battle royales out there that could be played. But I don't know if it's a genre that I could ever stay in a long period of time. I think it would get old just way too fast. Okay, that should be our 24 stack there. So because of our lack of placement here, I've got to build a little 90 here. I guess I could have dismantled that and rebuilt it again, but that is even more work, so yeah, I'm gonna pass. And again, so that we all fit on this little stretch down here, the conveyors need to be stacked right next to each other on this run. Makes it very cramped, and it makes it difficult to troubleshoot things if things are broken. And we've ran into a few occasions where the belts haven't been flowing properly. And I've had to go and try to figure out, okay, where does that belt go back to? But usually if it's frozen at one end, it's frozen at either end. So you can, it makes it a little easier to kind of trace. You could just go to its end and figure out, okay, where are materials not flowing and why are they not flowing there? I think I'm gonna have to. I find that my points awarding, the awarding of points for my chatbot might be just a little bit too light. I might have to tweak that a little bit, because I feel like you've been really engaged here tonight and been here for a while tonight, but I feel like you haven't been awarded the points you should have been. I'm gonna tweak that right now. I don't know if that'll take effect right away. Streamlabs, OBS. Of course it logged me back out again. Continue. Yes, I know. Continue. Chatbot. No, it's CloudBot that I need to look at, because that's in the loyalty settings. There we are. Interval 5 minutes, payout 3. The interval field must be 5 or more, so it's got to be at least 5 minutes, but I'm going to change that payout to like 10. YouTube payouts are based on viewers' chat activity. If they do not chat, they do not earn points. Oh, that. So you can't be a lurker. So you should be earning points because you've been chatting in here, Chris. But yeah, if you're not chatting, that's good to know. So I'm actually going to crank this up to 20 then. And that'll encourage them. And then on sub, change that to a bonus of 250 and the bonus of 1,000 points if you're a member. But members are turned off right now because of monetization is shut off right now. So let me save those settings. Loyalty settings saved. That's fixed. I might have to introduce maybe some new sounds, new commands in there too. It's been a while since I've mentioned there's quite a few in there, but it's been a while since I've updated them. The gambling aspect of it has been pretty popular. And I think that contributes to chat activity as if you're gambling. And then also the slot machines has been quite popular at times. I think slots, you could bet between 10 or up to 100. Minimum bet is 10 tokens. Maximum bet is 100. But the payouts on it are like maybe a little bit more risky, which is why it's like lower bet thresholds. And then the gambling minimum bet is like 10 tokens. And I think 10,000 is the maximum bet. And then there is a timeout on it. Like you can't, I want to say on the gambling end, it's like 15 minutes. You could do it every 15 minutes or something like that. I don't know. They're neat little tools to help people stay engaged in chat. I like them. Great way for interacting. Especially if you earn enough to get the sound effects and stuff like that. It giving you the ability to interact with the stream. I don't know if I'm brave enough yet to allow like chat to interact and do like voiceover chat. With like when super chats gets turned back on, have it voice over whatever got typed in there. I think that just opens you up to too much risk or technically abuse of the system. And turning generally my streams are pretty much safe for work. There'll be the occasional curse word that sneaks in every once in a while, but it's not like ridiculous. No more than what you're going to see on cable TV nowadays. But I don't need that to be left in the hands of people that are going to like voice over like that. That's just, I can't do it. It seems like, you know, some people can be as nice as pie, but then you give them the power to be able to interact like that. And then things go off the rails super quick. All right, the next row. Man, I don't understand why the Mark 6 conveyors take so long to build. They should be able to speed up that graphic on them because it really does chug the game down when you're doing that. Like it's still building that blueprint. It shouldn't take that long. I mean, minor things. Generally, this game builds it plays super smooth, and I don't have really a lot of complaints about it. But when you have a belt that's 1,200 items per minute, you want to be able to use that belt everywhere you can. Mark 5 belts build really fast, but these Mark 6s, they are a different beast altogether. One, two, three, four, five, six. Trying to consciously use my hotkey. I do have these conveyors and conveyor holes and everything set up on my hotkeys. Do I pay attention to the fact that they're there all the time? Never. Should I? Probably. Does make building a little bit easier if you don't have to go into the menu every time. That did not click the way it was supposed to. There we go. And then that should clip in there. See, there I go. I'm doing it again. I'm talking about what I'm clicking, where I'm clicking it, and why I'm clicking it. Chili. I'm at the point where I'm like, I've ran out of stuff to say. What am I going to say next? How about that U.S. politics? Yeah, no. There's a hard pass of ours. There's a conversation ender right there. And nobody wants to talk about that. Hard pass. Yeah, this is literally second nature now building these. I know what goes where. I know when it looks wrong. I know how to fix it right away. I didn't use my hotkey there because I'm an idiot. That's what my brain does sometimes. It's easy for my brain to do that at times. Went full on focus mode again. Kinda. Almost. All right, one more floor of these belts that we've got to build. Then we can finish up the last section of 24. I think here now, though, if I scroll all the way down here, man, that's a long ways to go down now. I think we have filled up full 4 stacks of this, so we'll be bringing our single line, like I've been bringing them all down. Because every row has like 4 conveyors that are left over. Well, I've been bringing them all down to this bottom level to build a full stack of 24 conveyors to come down to here. Well, we finally have finished that 24 stack there. So we'll be starting to build it up now on this one. With a fresh stack of 24. Which is a good reminder to throw down the blueprint for the next set of awesome sinks. All right, that's built. And again, look, the conveyors are the ones that you're waiting for in a blueprint to build. Oh, again, shiny. I forgot to do the last section of the top here. You know, let's just take a look back at this. And hide the UI. Oh, I think if I hold my coffee cup and hide the UI, yes, it gets rid of my arms. And then beep. And then beep. I think that is somewhat impressive looking. It's very repetitive. It'll look even better once we get like the next 2 rows going to be able to finish off that one conveyor line. It's coming together. It's coming together. I never realized how green that little pond is down there. That's actually a really good starting area too, is down in this area here. There is pure copper or pure coal nodes all along this edge. You've got a bunch of iron that's in here. There's some copper kind of tucked up into the back of the hill. You got some sandstone over here. And then there's more iron and stuff that you can pull back that way. This actually makes a really good starter base in here because you can get some coal power and stuff off this lake. There's enough water here. There's also enough water up there. You can get more coal power off of that waterfall that's up there. Like, really good starting point here. The only thing is, Caterium, I think, was a bit of a stretch for Caterium. I think, well, there might have been one node, I think, that's kind of over here or over here, something like that, to go across. So, but it did seem like it was a bit of a jaunt to get Caterium in that area for a starter. But if you're ever looking for a good starting zone, I like that. Of course, like the Dune Desert is really good because there's nodes everywhere. It's probably the absolute easiest place to get started in. The other starting zone that's over out here in this area, it's a lot of impure and normal nodes. There's not a lot of pure nodes out there. So you tend to be sprawled a little bit more as far as the starting zone. And there could be a lot of mobs and stuff like that. It's probably one of the most challenging. And there's one area, I can't even remember where it is now. I haven't tried. I know there's 4 different starting zones. One of them I've never done. I want to say it might have, is it in the Red Forest? I don't think it's in the Red Forest. Is it in the Red Forest? Or is it out here? I can't remember. I honestly don't know where the 4th starting zone is. I've never done it. I'm thinking it's probably because it's like super challenging. There's not a lot of materials. Again, I never finished doing these last 4 freaking conveyors, 6 conveyors up here. I got all shiny thinged again. I'm so easily distracted. See? Iron Chris, it has nothing to do with you as far as me getting distracted. It's 100% my own brain that just shuts off. Does its own thing. I think I can get 3, maybe 4 conveyors there. I think it's just 3. You're there. You're there. And yes, so I can't fit the other one. But I'm going to connect these right away. Especially for this one so it links up. I always like to verify that the belt links up to it properly. 1, 2, and 3. See, like that one linked up. You've seen the products moving into it. This one we do have to delete out of here and then run the fresh line over because we're just too far over. It won't connect properly. See, and I went back to using the menu again instead of my hotkey. I don't know how to train my brain to use the hotkeys. It's like I'm incapable of using them. It's just a brain miswiring or something. I'm not firing on all cylinders. Delete out this bit. All right. That set of 24 conveyors is done. We've got one more run of 24 that we got to do, and then there's the run of 4. And then that probably will take us to the end of the stream for tonight. I'll do my best to try to power through and get... I want to get all of these up and running before I log off. If I can at least get one production run up and running each time I stream, it helps us move a little closer to that. I can almost get another one too by the time, like, after I have dinner. I could fire up my laptop. The nice thing about Steam is you have the ability where you could... I quite often will be up in my living room with my laptop, and I will use the Steam stream capabilities and use the Steam launcher and be able to use my laptop, keyboard, and mouse and everything off of my laptop upstairs, and you're basically remotely playing off of my computer downstairs. So you're basically just using your laptop screen and your keyboard and mouse, but all the processing, all the work is still being done on my main gaming rig. And it actually works like pretty slick. Like I could, you know, be sitting and watching TV and or having a conversation with the wife or something upstairs and still be able to play and work towards getting my factory built. This is one of those where I've got to step it up a bit, I think. Do I step it up here or do I... You know what? I'm going to step it up at this end. I'm going to move it over one more. I'm going to put it right here. That up to there and then across. Because then it just makes this easier to bring down. And line up there. Because then this one is even easier. Because for whatever reason, the offset of those constructors lends to these nesting together nicely. There. Next. Oh, seriously, click on the right side of the damn pole. Why you gotta do me like that? I think I have room to run one more lift down. If I can click on the right side of it. Son of a biscuit. This one, however, I feel like we've got to bring that down right to here. Is that the right build height for that? I feel like that isn't. So we're going to go to... Nope, I don't want to be there. Delete out this row. I think I could delete out this too. I don't need that there. All right, that lines up. This early morning, like sunrise, I think it is. The orange look. Man, it makes it hard to see some of the text and stuff when you're trying to place things. It just blends in too much with the lighting. I feel like they could... I wonder if there's a way that I can adjust the interface font. Like when you're building something, say for instance, I'm building this and it puts the number where it sees like ×2, ×3, ×4, ×5. Well, it's certain lightings that's like really hard to see. I honestly think that should be a thicker, more bolder font color. Kind of a little bit more in your face with it. I think probably, I don't think anybody would really desperately complain. Especially in these very congested factories like I've got. To be able to have that visually pop out a little bit more to you, I think it's probably all right. But I don't think there's any like option customizations in there. Gameplay, that's all going to be maybe under video. Display resolution. Why does it say 1080p? I thought I had it in... No, yeah. I thought I had it in 2560 by 1440. Because that's what I'm streaming in, is 2560 by 14. I mean, I'm not going to screw around with the resolution right now. I'll go with the upscaling on it. Because clearly it's looking fine at your guys' end. The video quality is fine. I just thought I had that at 2560 by 1440. It is surprising. Texture quality. No, that's all to deal with. Camera modes, audio controls. Controls isn't going to be anything like that. User interface, tooltip scaling. Do we bump that up? What does 2 look like for that? Okay, I don't feel like that is any different. So I don't think that's the tooltip that I'm thinking it would be. Nope, that looks no different. Okay, let's go back to options. User interface. Oh, it never kept the scaling. Are you sure you want to apply these changes? Yes. Why? Okay, that looks no different. Did it go back? If I gotta go to options and then user interface? No, it does say 2. You're gonna put that back to 1. Apply that. Sure. Hologram, dismantle hologram, software. No, that's all. Expand organizer recipes by default. Show icon in the radial menu. Awesome sharp dark mode. That's what we've already got that turned on. High contrast builds, dismantle. No. HUD scaling. I think that resizes everything. ADA message texts. Size that. No, that should be just ADA. Yeah, I'm going to guess maybe it's under accessibility. Keep inventory, passive creatures, that's already set. Field of view, I don't want to adjust that at all. Look sensitive, no, that's all like how things are moving. Tooltip scaling, well, that's the same thing that we were adjusting before. No, I don't think there's really anything there to change that. Oh, well. That was me off on another little shiny tangent. Distracting myself from what we're trying to accomplish. Next row. So many things to connect. Not enough physical space to get it all done in. Yeah, they need to make like an in-game 20 by 20 template designer. I think that would be absolutely sick. See, that was where that font would be really nice to see a little bit bigger. Wishful thinking. They'll be like, just get better eyes. Us old folk, we can't see like them young whippersnappers. Makes us harder to be able to see that. so many poles to build this. Connected. That filled. Good. Good. I like the fact that I do have it up and like it's getting filled with steel. To have that ability to have all of those constructors primed, it just overall improves the overall performance of everything. You're not waiting for it to kind of... It almost seems like the last constructor will never actually get running perfect if it's not primed. But because everything is full at this point, it's all just going to turn on and run and work. And we have enough fail safes throughout the whole build that if things do get backed up at all, it just gets dumped to an awesome sink and it doesn't back up any of our liquid issues or liquid flows. So we only need like one of these to get our next 24 done. Yeah, we're on the last row. I'm sitting there going, wait, are we on our last 4? But yes, we are. Or last 5, I guess it is. And this is going to connect right to that one. Okay, 24 stack is done. And autosave. That was about still maybe 2 seconds. I don't think it was much of a hitch. Enough that it was certainly noticeable. Fine with these, we just take a little bit of extra time as we're linking them. We won't have a conveyor take off to the stratosphere. Take your time, click them in. It's these little curved bits that are the hardest part of the whole process. The most time consuming. Like even the putting all the conveyor lists and stuff in at the constructors isn't as time consuming as doing one of these freaking rows here like this. It just seems like you're never making progress until you get to like the last couple of them. And then it's like, oh, hey, I'm finally at the top. All right, 24 blueprint. Logistics 24 high. I feel like that didn't end up connecting. Did it? No, it's... Wait, what happened here? What did I do? Something's not right. I frickin' broke something. I think it's... That needs to go. I somehow clicked it and it placed the 24 stack just kind of there. not really linked to anything properly. It frickin' did it again. What's my mouse doing? Hold the phone. Stop that. Why do you keep breaking and not placing properly? 24 high. Okay. Keep my finger away from the mouse button. Next one, click. Okay. That's building properly. And I should end up with screws down here if I didn't screw up how that's connected. And of course, this is going to be laggy as F right now because of how many of those blueprints we placed down. It's not going to be very happy with us at the moment while it finishes building those. And you can see it's still building them. There's the graphic glitch again of the items running backwards. One, two, three. Four. 5. 6. Delete, delete. Okay, this should connect. Connect. That's not where that goes. It's almost as fast as a time lapse, this build. I love it when you can go back and forth like this. Makes the conveyor build so much faster. This should line up to these three, and I think I can get a fourth one here, and then this one and this one. I think is how that works out. But I do want to get all of these hooked up. That one doesn't need to be there. I love it when a plan comes together. Brian, welcome. You placed belts wrong, or you placed a belt wrong. No, I didn't. Nice try. I've done enough of these now that I know they're all working the way they're intended to be working. I've done more than enough of these. In the corner where you were just working. Nope. Nope, nope. See, look. Oh, you're right. Oh my God. I'm a scrub. You're amazing. Thank you for catching that. What the frick did that connect to? What the hell? I apologize. You were right. I was wrong. I'm an error. Yeah. Yeah, you were right. I was 100% wrong. I apologize for thinking that you were just trying to trick me. And that's because I was going too fast, is what that comes down to. My dad always said, go slower, or slow down, it will go faster. It's like his famous last words type thing. When you try rushing through something and it ends up breaking. All right. That's 24 more conveyors dealt with. Now I've got to deal with, I guess it's the next set of 4. How are we going to run these down? I want to just try to plan this out a little bit better. Because we got the last 4 conveyors are going to be coming this way. Oh, I want that to be default. because we're not going to be able to drop straight down there anymore. I guess we could bring it right over to... right about there. Afraid, welcome to the stream.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Oh, you know what? And I didn't give Brian a welcome either. So let's
Hello,
give Brian
my
one,
friend.
too.
Stay a while and listen.
Okay, so I'm just trying to plan where I'm going to run this next line of conveyors. And I think it's going to be here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because we're going to take this all the way down, not to the very bottom row, but to the second height, because that's where our awesome sinks are for our leftover conveyors. How am I? I'm doing well. Yeah, crazy busy day at work today. Like psycho busy. It's like year end, period end, bunch of repairs I had to do today. Bunch of travel I had to do today. So I was on the road for like 3 hours of my day driving around. That takes a toll. That's not where that conveyor goes. What am I doing? Okay, so this is going to turn this way and then this way, but right next to the conveyor. All right. You're going to go that way. Okay, let's finish dropping these down now. You know what? I actually haven't said that enough today. Thank you for posting that, Afraid. Reminds me to remind you guys all to reach down and hit the like button on the video. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you can be notified when I've posted a new video or a live stream. I also do post it on my Discord as well, and the Satisfactory Discord. And then once a week, it'll let me post my live stream on the Satisfactory Reddit page. I tried doing it like every day, and then they frown against that. They will only really let you post once every week in the Reddit for advertising your own videos. That's stupid. Why do you still, like, you should be able to connect to the frickin' beams. It shouldn't happen. Oh, and then I place it in the wrong spot. Okay, the top one's done. Now I can get rid of this excess scaffolding. Conveyor poles, which is not a pole. Put this back in. Okay, now we gotta throw some holes in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That one's not in the right spot. Come on, connect. There we go. tell you, these conveyors take a trip. These materials are making some rounds on the map, that's for sure. When you think this bauxite node that I'm working on right now probably came from the far side of the map to eventually turn into screws to go through miles of frickin' conveyor lifts. Oh, we got one more floor to go down here. One more floor. However, these, I do need to build it up a bit, because I'm not going to be able to pull that all the way down like that. That should be high enough for 4 conveyors, so I got to go this way, this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, why are you not dropping down? Please don't give up now, keyboard. Okay, I should have enough room to bring these all the way down to here. And I believe my 4 stack will connect to that. Does it get all of them? Yes. All are connected. Now I just have to carefully You know what? I struggled with this before. I had to bring the foundation out with it and then delete it after I got it lined up on that edge. It was a real struggle to keep it lined up to the edge of the foundation. Blueprint, 4 high conveyor stack, and connect. See, much easier now that it's connected. Connect, and then you come all the way down to right there. Perfect. Now I can take this out. I don't need it anymore. I mean, eventually be back when I put in the next round of awesome sinks for the next row over, but it doesn't need to be here right now. Because going forward, we got to manually build the conveyors going added on top of that. Awesome sink, awesome sink, awesome sink. Those are all hooked up. Look at that. 728,000 screws now being made and dumped into awesome sinks. Look at us go. I think I even have enough time to get some of the next floor and prep to build the next tier up. Let's go update our billboard though first. 728,000 screws. Hello, billboard. Let's edit that. 728. And counting. Jeez, lol. Yeah, and you know what? That's still not half of a bauxite, one single conveyor of bauxite. Converted into aluminum. Then converted into steel beams. Then converted into screws. Like we're only... Like this is 7 rows of... What is it? 19, I think, is what we ended up with. Is it 8 per stack? Let me see how many rows there is. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to be 8 high on each of these segments. So that's handling this one, all of these, up to 8 high. We're 7 right now. So we're actually only building one more higher on this, and then we get to start on the next row over, which is a big step forward. And then we've got another, so that's what, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, and a bit worth of steel that we're going to be using here. And that is one conveyor of bauxite, of 72 conveyors of bauxite. I have 72 conveyors of bauxite. Yes. I am psycho. And this is going to be a lot of screws. A lot of screws. And then there's still all the iron that we haven't even touched yet, that we can convert into steel. And then make that into steel beams. And then make that into more screws. So, yeah. We got some the game will crash before I can get it all done. I will get it as far as it'll let me, and then we'll go from there. I think that's the only plan I can go with for now. Nope, that needs to be on Zoop mode. And why is Zoop mode, when you turn on Zoop mode, why is it not enabled for everything when you've clicked on Zoop? Like, I feel like that should just be the default, is if you've turned Zoop on, it's going to assume you want everything zooped. I have not looked into the self-sealing. I honestly have not. Self-sealing stem bolts? Not at all. I'm going to make a note of that right now so that I can look at that. Okay, I've clicked it. They are the bee's knees. You just like dated yourself some. The bee's knees. I'm actually super excited. This is the last height we've got to go up on this. So clearly we're not getting anywhere near maximum build height because like we're only going to be a little bit above what that is over there. And nothing has stopped us from building this high yet. So we are golden for the height of this factory. Get all the footprint done for this. All right, like the prep work is done. I still got a few more minutes here. Let's get all of the awesome sinks added. That'll tell us whether or not we're close to our build height. Let's go factories, awesome sinks. That's gonna go. Well, that one built with no problem. Build. 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 And then back up and do the next layer. It's still blue for us, so it doesn't look like it's going to stop us from building any higher than this, so. Come on. Get a pretty good view from up here, though. Like, we are a long ways up here. We are up over the top of our our converter tower, though. Nosebleed seat. Yeah, pretty much. Get a good view of the material highway coming through the middle of the map. You really can't see a lot of the other structures other than all the the different conveyor belts and stuff that are kind of feeding into the middle of it. Most of it is all mining nodes anyway, other than there's like clusters of oil refineries and stuff. You can kind of see, if I go to picture mode. Well, it won't actually render in. It won't show me the machines. That's amazing. It just shows all the pipes. It doesn't show the machines at that render distance. It's too far away. That's awesome. There's more down there. Shows you the pipes, but not the machines. And then I think, yeah, there's some down that way. That's kind of funny. But I mean, look at all the conveyor belts and like the stuff coming out of the Dune Desert down there. I have started gathering some of the iron down there and I've been kind of chipping away at it, but not a lot. And it's only been in the Dune Desert that I've been focusing on. So that's why it seems like it's a little bit more concentrated down there of conveyor belts versus everything else that's running around out here. Except for this area. This is that far west or far south area, I think it is on the map. There's so many nodes kind of spread out, and it didn't make sense bringing a whole bunch of lines back to the highway. It made more sense to come to one, like couple of main central lines to bring it all back. I'm excited that we're almost done this first half. It's not even really a half. It's not quite a half of all of the bauxite that's down here. But I think this is a pretty good start for next time. I will grab the customizer, though, and mark out where we got to put the constructors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Constructors go that way. And then I have to make sure when we build the next row, how many conveyor lines do I need? 1, 2, 3. I need 4 wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 2 more. I am going to have to build this out a bit more on this to fit another row of these. Because I need another cluster just like this right beside this. But I also have to make sure that I got room for all the logistics coming out of it. So in total, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. I think I can get away with putting it right at 6 wide. So if we go all the way down to the bottom here. And if we look at how this is situated, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 7 out with it. And I think we had to be, what, 6 deep on this? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to lay the first foundation down for the awesome sinks. It needs something to build on. So what is that worth? That's 1 set, 2 sets. This will be 3. We need 4 sets of awesome sinks. And then there's technically one more little set of awesome sinks that looks after all of our 4 lines that we get. Okay, why is that? Oh, that's why it's all out of whack. It's because I'm an idiot. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're good there. Whoop. Okay, why is this not lining up? Where did I screw up here? Hold the phone. I screwed up right here. Right here is where I messed up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta fix this one. Delete out this. Add that. Delete these. There, now it lines up. Now it's looking the way it's supposed to. Okay, so we have the footprint in place for the next set of awesome sinks. It's coming together. It's looking like a factory from, like, man, that's just insane. And we still have one more floor to add. Wow, we're working on the last floor on that. And then it's a matter of expanding it widthwise. And then do these last little chunks of conveyors over here. And then we can rinse and repeat on the next batch. Is coming together. And that, I think, is where we are going to end it for tonight. 728,000 screws. Guys, thank you so much for chilling and hanging out with us here tonight. Appreciate all of you. Don't forget to reach down, hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, ring that notification bell so you can be notified for my next live stream or video upload. With that all said, you guys have a good one, and we will see you in the next one. Bye for now.